literally about to take off now. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Air Force One. Today's topic is video SEO. So we want to talk about that and how we get videos to rank and things like that. So
that's nice. That's nice. And by the way, I forgot to do this when we started before, but so I just connected all of my channels to restream this on my channels as well. So, hey, folks, if you're watching or listening on my channels, good to have you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pop in.
Like, follow, subscribe. Drop your comments in the chat or message section, whatever platform you're on. Yeah, anyway, that's crazy. It's Monday. Here we are. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and today's topic that we're going to chat about. And it's too bad Holly's not on. She might be able to. She had to get off somewhere, but she thought she might join us in her car. Because talking about video, and obviously, Holly and her fame of YouTube kind of dominance at. But I really kind of thought, and the reason I was going and thinking about this is I wanted to get your opinion and as well to kind of explore a little bit the idea of video influence on AI and AI overviews and LLM searches. Now, what are your thoughts on that? Have you seen an impact on that at all?
Absolutely. I think I told you a story. I don't know who I told. It might have been you. It might have not been you. But I was messing around with AI in general. And I was asking it stupid questions about me. And it started citing information that I had said on videos. So when I was asking it what's Craig's son's name and all that stuff, obviously it was going away looking at the transcript and seeing if I had said Charlie's name. And, I think anywhere where there's information, whether it be a press release, whether it be a YouTube video, and now even I've seen it starting to pull in social media posts. So is AI looking for information from all sorts of, sources? And would AI look to my YouTube and interviews with me or podcasts with me for information about me? Absolutely. I think it would make perfect sense for that to be the case. Now, I'm not saying that they can quickly pop an AI overview. I don't think, mentioning something in a video is popping the AI overview, because I think the AI overview, there's more to it, where the answer to the question has to be cited multiple times on other websites. So I think with a video, you can help corroborate the answer, but I don't think it's a be all and end all. You have to have a video in order to get an AI overview. That would be my opinion on it for now. But if you think about it, AI has to get information about you from somewhere. Now, is it going to look at interviews and podcasts and shit like that you've done, at people asking you questions about yourself or your business or how you conduct yourself? Absolutely. And there's no better place and no better information than it coming from the horse's mouth. But in terms of it popping in the AI overview, it needs to be said by third parties as well. So that's where I think it's joining the dots together, kind of thing for the AI overview. And I think videos do and can play a part in it. But like we've seen, you can do it with a fucking press release, because you're getting on a number of those high profile places. That is what's popping it for the here and now. So to answer, overall, I don't think, saying things in a video is going to pop the AI overview just like that. I think you obviously have to go and do those other things as well. So I just don't want to be misleading people into thinking, oh, Craig said, just fucking whacking out, some old content on a video is gonna, that's him taking off, by the way. But by the way, that makes some noise, that fucking aeroplane. I just,
Oh, is he taking off now?
yeah, that's him. He's off.
He's on.
Fucking hell, I can switch that off now. It's nearly burnt my phone battery to death. But yeah, so yeah, that's my kind of feedback on it and how I see it working just now,
Yeah.
based on the fucking around that I've done.
Yeah, I agree with you pretty much on everything you've stated thus far. I have not seen like the activity of videos only influencing the AI overview. I've seen, like a brand mentions and talking about a brand and such, but it's multiple layers of third party and or pieces of content that are helping to enable that brand getting mentioned or having visibility in the LLMs or in the AIOs, PRs and podcasts and videos, right? So they're all kind of pulling in and kind of working together from that standpoint. But I've never seen it where, so I've never seen it where it's just the video. But at the same time, I've seen very few instances. I'm even trying to actually think if I've even seen one where a video is a link or a citation in an AI overview. Have you seen those?
No, I can't say I have. And I think it goes back to that whole thing, Randy. They can't just fucking cite a video because that is one instance
Yeah.
of that query. And I think obviously the way the AI overview works is it needs to be cited a number of times. And
Yeah.
it's always going to give the source to the highest profile website that's out there, whether that be Forbes or I don't know, Business Insider or whatever. So I've never seen just a video, never. And I don't think we can really expect to see that either because it's that citation based thing. Now you could argue that YouTube's clearly more powerful than a lot of other websites out there, but I just don't think it would cite YouTube. I think, yeah, they did cite YouTube for me when I asked it a very, very specific question about me, and things like that. But I think for an AI overview, there's no chance, because again, it's just open to gamification. If they gave a lot of weight to YouTube and all these AI videos saying what they want, and I think that's why cleverly they need it to be corroborated on multiple other sources as well before they even come close to giving it, the AI overview. So, you can argue and go, Craig, fuck's sake, Holly's out there manipulating it, with Paul and for all that and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely they are, but they're spending money and time and effort to do that. It's not a case of, an AI video and whacking out any old shits, popping AI overviews. They're having to dig deep and work a bit, harder on that. And it's although Holly will go, yeah, it's easy to manipulate. Yes, it may be easy for her, but it's not really in the grand scheme of things. She's working on it, and I think it would be unfair to say it's a piece of piss to do it. There's a bit of time, money, and effort that goes into it. So
I think so. I think you're right. I do think it's interesting with the AI overviews and the LLMs stuff is that, and you really you used the right phrase, I think, which is the corroboration or corroboration.
Corroboration.
Yeah. Corroboration. Yeah. You
get
me.
That one from.
I know you get me off because of your accent. I'm like, wait, I don't even know how to pronounce it right now. But the idea, though, of having multiple third parties mention or talk about and cite, right, the citation about your brand or that service or whatever the particular subject is, that is pretty critical. And I think that video, then if you've got a video, so this is what I'm wondering. So if like I'm on your channel, right? So I'm on Craig Campbell's channel and Randy, the news guy, and we could be talking about, hey, Randy, the news guy's got the greatest press release services, right? So if you're starting to talk and do a lot of that conversation, will that contribute to as a third party corroborator on the AIO? So it's on your platform, on your channel, not on mine, not associated with an account of mine.
I think so. I absolutely think so. You know, I think the more instances that you're heard on other people's, whether it be YouTube channels, podcasts, whatever, I think that goes some way to going, right, that's right. You know, it's been said that he's the best guy or whatever it may be. And I think that is important from the AI overview point, but also just in terms of video SEO, again, mentioning it, you have to do that. You know,
Right.
you know, you can't talk about something. You can't title a video as video SEO and then not talk about video SEO, if that makes sense. So it's because YouTube, although AI is looking at the transcript and everything else for its own benefits, YouTube are looking at it going, is this person actually talking about ranking videos and YouTube and creating videos and everything else? And I think that also plays a part in it as well. So I do think, you know, in terms of the corroboration for AI, absolutely. You know, I think they will cite it, but anyone can see anything on YouTube. That is where I feel that the weight that's placed towards a YouTube transcript and the weight that's placed towards, I don't know, a Yahoo Finance are going to be very, very different.
And I think as well, though, don't you think that, so when you're talking about the weight or the influence, we'll say, I like that word better. So that influence of that YouTube video. So again, it's not coming from my platform, and as well that I think that the channel of where that video or where that mention, right? So the news guy, we've been talking about it, but because it's on your channel and because you've got a million two is what I'm looking at, 1.2 million subscribers. So your channel's got, I would think, I don't know, this just makes sense to me, but I would think that your channel would have more authority, right? So similar to like, you know, a press release, an article on Business Insider or on Forbes is going to have more authority than if it's just in my little local, you know, little newspaper here. Right? Yes. So in that kind of mindset, I'm thinking the same kind of thing. So if I'm getting brand mentions and conversations on a channel that's got 1 million plus subscribers, that's got to have a lot more authority and influence than if it's just on, you know, some bunch of AI generated channels that have no followers, no subscribers, right?
Absolutely. I think, you know, there's obviously ways to look at channels, you know, whether it be watch time, the amount of videos that are on there, the engagement of the videos, and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure the subscriber part alone is the be all and end all, but I think if Google,
it all works together, right? Yeah.
Because after you get, I can't remember the exact figure, but I don't know if it's 10,000 or 100,000. Like on YouTube, you've got a little grey tick that you're a verified real person as well. And I think that adds to the trust and the weight of that particular channel. Because like you say, you know, something's mentioned on Joe Rogan on his channel, or something's on some pishy fucking new channel that's got some AI garbage on it. You know, is it going to get the same weight and power? There's no fucking way in the earth that can possibly be the case, because, you know, Joe Rogan's going to get the brand mentions, he's going to get views, he's going to get everything else ticking all of those boxes. And I would hope, not compare myself to Joe Rogan, but I would hope that you know, my channel has more weight than you know, some Buckshee channel anyway, because you know,
somewhat Buckshee.
Yeah, some shitty fucking channel. You know, I spent
I've
fucking
never heard the Buckshee. What the hell was that?
but you know, I've spent countless. I mean, there's thousands of videos there, and I've also spent fucking about fucking 6 years doing live streams
I know,
once or
yeah.
twice a week. So hopefully, you know, that's ticked a box going, right, this guy's here for the long haul. We can kind of
Yeah.
trust what he says
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
some degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, you know,
Well, I
that
kind of mention all of this because I think it's important, and especially, you know, for folks who, you know, who are agencies and or brands, and they're trying to like, okay, how do we begin to influence the AIOs and train LLMs? Because I think that's all of this stuff that's all important. I just think this is another one of those ways to like figure out a pathway that you can get either featured on, you know, some more influential types of platforms, whether that's podcast or video, you know, a YouTube channel or something where, you know, they're talking about your brand, or so like looking to like, okay, how can you be a guest on somebody's show? How can you get your brand featured on? Maybe it's through a sponsorship or something. But I think it's a, you know, it absolutely is something that's probably is not discussed all that much
nah,
in consideration for how do you get on the AIOs, and how are you, you know, influencing LLM searches. Yeah,
but nah, I think a lot of people just hope for the best. They don't really try and play the game underneath
yeah,
or understand the game that they're playing in a lot of cases. And like you say, a lot of people don't talk about that either. They just feel like it's going to happen naturally. And
right.
uh,
Well, it's all about building a strategy, right? It's the
yeah,
same thing as like if you're just doing SEO and you know, you kind of build out a strategy like this is what we're going to do over the next several months from an SEO standpoint to rank this site, or you know, or get our objective. And I think if your objective is trying to be on the AIO and or the LLM searches, you know, you got to have that strategy. And I think the strategy is, and the reason this is all kind of in my top of mind right now is because I was just outlining a script for a video I'm going to shoot later this week in regards to training the LLMs so that your content, your brand is, you know, going to be visible. And this is all part of this strategy, I think. Like, be on influential channels and get mentioned in videos, you know, that are not on your channel, you know, get mentioned on podcast, or have your own podcast, or be a guest on somebody else's podcast, which is actually even better. um
yeah,
but
no,
a strategy, good strategy.
yeah, you can't just go out and hope for the best. You've got to become targeted and say, nah, this is what I want.
Yeah,
And I'm going to ask questions, talk to people, and worm my way in to
yeah,
podcast or whatever it may be, if that's what your strategy is. And again, I think a lot of people don't sit down and actually go, you know what? I need to be doing more of this, and that is going to be my main focus. It's kind of
yeah,
scattergun approach by a lot of
yeah,
people, which can work for you as well. But like anything, we say, you know, if you're selling 10 services, Randy, and two of them make the majority of your money, double down on the two of them. They're like, fuck the rest of them. You know, not fuck them, but you get the point. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's the same with your strategy as well. You know, something will work better than something else, and
right,
it's important to then double down. So if going in podcasts raises your brand mentions, your brand awareness, and builds your links and gets you work, and you know, raises your profile, fucking double down on it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
do more of it. And I think, you know, videos for me, you know, just obviously when COVID and everything hit, you know, less conferences, more videos. was the strategy, because I couldn't physically get to conferences and talk to people and network and everything else. So it became a video thing, and you know, just by luck, really, just because of COVID and everything, it kind of blew up for me. But it's you know, I think video for a lot of people, because of the nature of our industry, everything's online, and all the learning, all of the everything is just online. And I think video plays a big important part of it. And I still think a lot of businesses don't take video that seriously. I know you do it, you know, and you've obviously got nice setup, and you know, you've spent your time doing your own podcast and doing your videos and everything else. And I think a lot of people are still not taking videos that serious either. You know, I see even local businesses and stuff here in Glasgow, they are now starting to take it seriously. You know, TikTok, you know, people often say to me, Craig, how is that guy fucking making money? How is that? You're like, the guy's out there doing his TikToks, showing people, roofers, plumbers, pizza shops, they're showing you the background stories, fun shit, you know, crazy stuff, whatever. You know, people go, well, how can I make a video as a roofer? Well, show us a before and after, or some job, some cowboy roofer done, and you've came in and had to fix it. You know, there's lots of content ideas regardless, and people love that shit. So it's always, you know, get the strategy first, but you know, ideas and just getting it done as well, because a lot of people go, oh no, there's no way, such a boring topic, and you're like, I get it. Everything's boring though, and it's how we make it fun. Even SEO is boring. That's why I try and make it a bit more fun and tell stories, and you know,
dances, TikTok dances. Yeah, you do it all, man.
You just got to add a bit of fun to what you do as well. So yeah, that's my way.
Yeah, with small businesses especially, this is where I get, and I think that you know, small businesses don't get creative enough, or even you don't even need to be that creative. Like you were just giving this example of like a roofer. Like, how does a local roofer, how are they going to start doing videos? They don't want to be on video. They don't want to have time. They don't want to be all this. But purely even just what you said, like take a series of before shots and then take a series of after shots. Send them off to your SEO guy. I'm like, okay, here's some stuff. And then they could go and easily like go build out, even just, you know, take a generic voice off of 11 Labs, go throw the images into something like Pictory, you know, and make a 30-second like, hey, here was, you know, like go craft a quick, you could easily craft a number of videos. You know, you probably only need about, I don't know, 6 to 8 shots of a project every time to go create some interesting videos that could be, you know, kind of fun. The thing though is that people don't realize is that, you know, if you don't do it, I think it really puts you at a disadvantage. If you do it, it makes you much more competitive from a search standpoint and from a brand recognition standpoint. Because I would guess the likelihood that your competitors are doing it is pretty minimal. So if you're the local roofer or the local landscaper and you're out there doing videos, even if they're AI generated and you got shots and you got AI voice, meaning, you know, they're not actual like live like you and I are, and you're in front of a camera or something like that, I think that it just puts you head and shoulders above the competition, both from a ranking standpoint, from a visibility standpoint with the AI.
Yeah, no, you've got to. That's the thing. If you don't, the way I've always seen it is, if you don't, someone else will. And you know, obviously, it's your job as your business owner to make sure that, you know, if you didn't do the news guy thing, someone else would, and
Yes,
they'll gobble up all of the PR.
I know it.
And you know, that is just how life works. And you've obviously embraced it, and you've just got to deal with it. That's just marketing. So yeah, embrace
How
it.
about the shorts? So, you know, shorts or reels, but you know, a minute or less, or we'll just say a less than a minute type videos. Are you doubling down on those? Are you making more of those? Are you doing more? What do you think that you're doing more of right now? More shorts, more 3 to 5 minute videos, or more long form?
I probably do a mixture of them all, to be honest. You know, I do bang out shorts.
But just for shorts? I mean, do you just like do shorts like we're cutting this content just for shorts, or do you take some of your other videos and cut them up to be shorts? I mean, that's what
No,
we do.
I take, you know, if I'm on a podcast, I'm going to chop that up into
Right.
shorts, and what I'll do is I'll start to release the shorts with a
Yeah.
view to trying to force people over to the main podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, why wouldn't you? You know, put in a few teasers or 30
Right.
seconds
Right.
of something you've said or whatever it may be. So absolutely, that's one way of doing it. I don't sit there and just create shorts for the sheer hell of creating a short. Like, there's no way. You know, it's always going to be part of a longer form video. But you know, obviously, there's a lot of videos that go out there as well, which, you know, if you're doing kind of education based stuff and you're trying to give tutorials or reviews or, you know, show off a SaaS or whatever, it can't be done in a short.
Right.
You know, it's probably going to take, you know, 3 to 5 minutes or maybe even 10. It takes what it takes, but I would still call that very short content. No one wants to sit and listen to you drone on for an hour about something you could have said in 5 minutes. You know, I am under no
I know.
illusions that people don't want to hear that. So I try when I'm doing it, kind of, here's a tool or here's a strategy, here's what I've done. I try and do it very short, sharp, and to the point. And obviously for things like this, hour long sessions, you know, you can explain things a bit more, and you could even chop this up into shorts as well, if you wanted to. And yeah, it's, you know, if we say something that's crazy or funny or whatever, I'll stick that out there as well. Again, just to say, guys, we're on here weekly, talking a load of shit, having a bit of fun. Come along and see it.
Right.
So
Right.
I think you've always just got to be trying to think of things to put out there. I don't. I probably don't do it as much as I should, Randy, but I think I try not overwhelm people with just shorts talking about SEO all the time, because people are going to go, fuck this. I'm sick of listening to this guy talking about AI or link building or whatever.
Right. Right.
It's a boring subject.
Yeah.
So again, I try and add some fun stuff into the stuff as well, because I don't want to become. I do it myself when I see certain people say the same thing on my feed, and I'm like, I'm blocking you because I'm sick and fucking tired of you whining about this,
You
that,
know,
thing.
you do a good job, and you're actually kind of kicking me right now because I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, you are doing a great job of doing exactly what you're talking about, which is throw in some fun stuff, just change it up, once in a while. Like most of your shorts that I see, and it could just be because, well, I don't know, actually. I think most of the short stuff that I see of your posts or videos are all like just kind of fun, crazy
Yeah,
stuff. Versus I don't see a lot of shorts on like talking about SEO or digital marketing, or sometimes I see a short of you where you've been on a podcast or
yeah,
something and you've done a video cast or something. Those are pretty good. But a lot of your shorts are more about some of the fun stuff. And I think, I got to do more of that because I have not done that. I am like really have been just driving focus. And some of that has been intentional as well, because I think you kind of have to start out and kind of be sure to train the channel, train, everything to like, listen, I'm going to talk about press releases. This is what this channel is. And so I grow the authority about press releases and press release distribution. So I got to put a ton of freaking content out there about that and not deviate for a while.
So how my channel started, Randy, I used to do a lot of courses that
Yeah.
I sold. Now, I had a lot of content that I was able to upload to YouTube into playlists, which I gave away for free during COVID. And I think because of that, I was able to upload, I don't know, 900 videos or so from there onto YouTube, and it was like years worth of stuff that I had that I hadn't released publicly. Now, obviously, I was able to train YouTube into exactly who I am and what I do. And then on top of that, you're like, I can't really release another video saying, here's how you do Facebook ads, or here's how you do YouTube SEO, or here's how you do CT. I've done them all fucking countless times. So you're sitting there going, right, is that it? Like, did I just fucking give up now? Or to add some fun stuff in? Obviously, you've got to go and update your content and things like that. And I'm actually doing that just now, is going through my playlists and adding newer videos that I've got. Some of the stuff's 5 years old, 6 years old. And I'm not going to remove it from the channel because they've obviously got history and watch time, and someone may want to watch some old shit anyway. But in terms of my playlists and stuff, I'm trying to now go through and update that with fresher, because things change, things evolve. What I said 3 years ago in terms of doing this and that and the next thing might not even be valid anymore. So I try and do that.
Like AI, you know, the AI overviews. I mean, you start throwing that stuff in there, sure.
So I think, you know, I am conscious of not just whacking out stuff that's just fucking boring and you know, just business all the time. That's where I think, you know, trying to throw your personality in and try and tell like the crime lord stories, and you know how there's fucking 150 fucking producers on that, and you know Star Trek only had 2. You know, these are all fun, but people hopefully go, oh, what the fuck? So now you're just trying to get people to think differently and be creative, and I think that's what I try and do from a shorts perspective, and obviously just have fun, because like I say, life's too short, and you know, we've got to have fun along the way as well, and that's important to me as well. So just trying to tie all of that together.
Well, I think it's brilliant. I think you're absolutely on target with that. You know, you got to deviate just a little bit so you just don't like turn people off constantly with the same message or the same topic. So I think that's smart. And thinking about as well. So how do you get here? Let's do this to kind of work, give you some short ammunition here, right? That you can use and chop this thing up with. So Craig, tell me, I'm going to set you up right here. So you can be like, all right, here's it. And, you know, at 43 minutes in, here's a good snippet for a short reel. Hey, Craig, what do you think are some of the top things you need to have in a video in order to be influence the visibility or ranking?
Top things. One, you need to have a good video background. Nothing like I've got just now, because
I know you look like crap.
But looking like Randy, nice backdrop, nice mic, informative, charismatic. But I think you know, you've got to have all of that, because it's got to be aesthetically pleasing. But it's also, you know, you've got to have a bit of personality in it as well, because there's a lot of people in our industry that have got monotone voices, and I think it's really important not to talk like that, because you know, in 5 seconds people switch off. So I think you've got to have those kind of characteristics going on. But views, engagement, watch time are super important. And I think going back to what you said about strategy, you've got to be strategic about that. How are you going to get the X amount of followers that you've got onto that video? Now, obviously, that's when you think about your social media, your email list, your push notifications. You need to get all of these people onto that fucking video. But you've also got to make sure that they watch it. And you see podcasts just now, what they do is, you know, just at the very start of a clip, you see someone going, you motherfucker, you fucking whatever. And then it goes into the podcast, and then you see them calling someone a motherfucker again.
Yeah.
So they're capturing you straight away by going, oh, you know, the kind of shock value. So I think even when it comes to editing, it needs to be strategic, because you have a very people have a very short attention span. People switch off very, very quickly, and it's your job strategically to put that out to your full audience. But that's not just enough anymore. How are you going to capture, even when you put it out, how are you going to grab and hook them in? And sometimes controversy, or someone effing and blinding, or someone shouting and bawling, or saying, "Oh, that fucking Holly Starks," and all of this, you know, people are like, "Oh, what the fuck's he saying?" And then, you know, say something nice about her or whatever. So again, even be strategic with that. I think these things are what people want, and it's kind of fake to a certain degree, because you're playing up to it, but that's the game. You're a marketer, and you know, if I was to put out a clip saying, you know, Randy's a bald fucking bee and he done this and done that, I'm sure, you know, that would quickly get engagement. People are like, why is he slanging Randy? So, you know,
sometimes I think people do that in our industry. I swear, I think sometimes they, you know, I think they manufacture like a dust up between them just in order to like get engagement and like drive. Like if you and I talked offline, like, hey, Craig, let's do something. I'm going to put something out there and say something dirty about you. And then you like, right. But listen, right. And we like manufacture this shit. So just all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, did you see? Wow. You know, all of the shit that's going on between Craig and Randy now.
Well, dude, I have been sat on my phone and people have had a dust up on Facebook or whatever. And all the SEO guys in all the WhatsApp groups, oh fuck, look at this.
I know.
So yeah, it'd be crazy to think that some of that stuff wasn't manufactured. And I see it a lot in TikTok, actually. You know, that I am almost certain that these TikTok influencers are creating controversy with each other and calling each other out, and that guy's a fucking thieving bee and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, guys, this is fucking, it's actually getting a bit much, because it's not realistic. So I don't like that side of it, you know, creating fakery like that. But I think you can strategically say a few things to let people think there maybe is something, and then there isn't. I don't think there's anything wrong with that to lure people in. But I think, you know, the big thing for me, Randy, is people sometimes don't understand how people are and things like that. So you could do that, and people think, "Oh, Randy's an asshole because Craig said this once," and they don't put the full context. They didn't follow up with the rest of the story, and somehow it becomes damaging to your business. You know, because they seen one clip of Craig saying Randy's a fucking bandit or whatever it may be. So I think you need to be careful in that respect. But you know, especially when you're selling services and stuff, some people don't give a shit. You know, if it's you're just becoming an influencer, you could be an asswipe anyway. You know, some people like asswipes, but you know, I think we need to be a bit more careful on that if you're trying to be somewhat professional.
Speaking of strategy, and as this ties into video, I'm going to confess to something here. Right, here's another, like, all of a sudden you got a nice short, like, you know, teaser. I'm going to confess, Craig.
That you bought another domain.
Good image right there, Craig. I got to confess. I just this weekend. You're a haggis hater. Yes, I'm not even sure what the hell haggis is. I probably won't like it.
Google it, Randy. It is sheep's brain. So
yes, I just this weekend started my Instagram channel for the news guy. For real.
I need to give you a follow if I haven't already.
I think you did, actually. Yeah.
The news.
Isn't that horrible?
No, I mean, do you not like Instagram?
It's just it's not that I don't like it. It's just a platform I've not really focused on. And so, and then I don't know. I was talking with somebody last week, and I'm like, oh my god, am like absolutely shooting myself for not trying to jump in and do something. And you can easily on Instagram kind of repurpose content or redistribute content you're throwing out on Facebook and such as well. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what an idiot I've been.
Yeah, I think um, Instagram's it's not a bad channel, man. I'm actually going off of Facebook, in all honesty. I probably prefer
Really?
Instagram to Facebook. I can't be arsed with Facebook. Um, it's just full of ads and full of this and full of that, and uh,
Yeah.
Instagrams just seems to be a bit less um, less spammy.
Yeah. I think well, certainly you're right. Now I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, so I'm not sure that I'm a good evaluator of the channel itself, but yeah, it certainly is not nearly as spammy and what I've seen thus far as what Facebook has gotten to become. I don't do TikTok now. I know you do TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok channel there either.
I think you're probably again stupid not to, because you're already
Thank
creating the short. You're already creating the short. Why not distribute it to TikTok, Instagram, and whatever that's out there? I just think the amount of people who use TikTok is stupid not to place it on there. Now
you.
you might never get 500,000 followers or whatever, but 2, 3, 400, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. It's all part of that big ecosystem that you're building, and I think just with the sheer volume of people that consume that type of content, you're silly for not doing it because you've already done all the hard work. You've already created the video.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What does it fucking take to
yeah.
it's another
Oh,
tool?
I think you're probably right. Yeah, yeah. I will tell you a platform. Haggis. I gotta figure that one out. I'll tell you a platform that I'm just gonna give up on is LinkedIn.
Do you not get a lot of value from it?
I don't.
Ah,
I've never enjoyed LinkedIn, even before I started trying to even do anything with it. But I never enjoyed looking at LinkedIn, and I think it's just gotten worse over the last couple of years. That I think it has just gotten to be like,
that's a spam fest.
yes, it's gotten to be like Facebook
Yeah,
basically, and the crap that's on there. And I'm like, hey, ugh. And so I really put in a, a strong effort, me, my team, and like, all right, putting content in, kind of rewriting content, putting it out there, doing stuff on there. I just never saw any kind of a blip or bump. Now, some of it I will fully confess as well that I did not go on and like and comment on a bunch of people's other posts and do all of this other engagement stuff that probably should happen as well.
yeah.
But I just I'm kind of like with your comment about Facebook with LinkedIn. I can't be bothered with it anymore. I'm just going to do the obligatory that I'll say kind of putting content on there that's because it's going on other platforms as well, but
That's all
beyond.
I do.
Yeah,
That's all I've done for years on LinkedIn. Is it obligatory is the right word?
yeah,
I can't be arsed sitting there. Oh, look at this and look at that strategy.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
fuck yourself. If you want to hear stuff, come to YouTube or whatever. I'm not going to sit there and fucking talk shit all over LinkedIn all day, every day to for what? Like, for what? To flex
yeah.
what? It's just a fucking flex, a muscle flex or SEO flex or whatever you want to call
Well,
it.
but I know that some people do really good. Like, Victoria in our group, she puts a lot of good stuff out there, and she gets a lot of good contact from her effort on LinkedIn, but she really works it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think, you can be across all of these different platforms, but I think at some point you have to make a decision and kind of put your stake in the ground. Like, I really want to be good on YouTube, or I really want to be known and dominant in Facebook, or
Yeah.
I think you can, I don't know. It's just, I don't think you could say, I'm going to be everything to everywhere on all platforms. I just don't think you can do that. And
Nah, you would need to be delegating a lot of that out, especially when it comes
yeah,
to LinkedIn. The thought and the stuff that you need to put into that, if you're manually doing it, it's different if you're just
yeah,
shitting all out using AI. But
yeah,
I think that could be damaging in itself. So I think you're right. Double down on YouTube is what I've done. It's my best platform, and it doesn't take a lot of time for me to sit and talk to you for an hour. If we were to put out a post, I just don't want to sit and write. I could do that in LinkedIn and say, let's talk about video SEO this week
I
on
know, right.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
It's just not as fun
yeah,
and stuff like that. So that it's also what's enjoyable for me, and I don't want to sit there and do that. And
yeah. And
uh,
that's important too, I think. That's, it's the reason why I do the way that I do my agency. I don't niche down in my agency, even though I do think that is the smart. So if you're an agency, or if you're thinking of starting an agency, first thing I would tell anybody is, like, niche down. You should, like, figure out what niche you want to operate in and go be the person in that industry. Um, I don't do that, and it's purely because I am really fascinated by a lot of different businesses and the clients that I have, and so I bring in. I have clients across all different kinds of industries, and I stick to that because it keeps my interest level high, versus, it keeps me engaged, versus, I could be, the roofing niche, and that's what I want to become and really blow that up. But after a while, I think, I'm going to get bored talking with roofers,
yeah,
after 6 months. It's just not going to keep my interest in it. So when you say, like, I want to leverage YouTube because I really like doing that, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
yeah.
That's
Ah,
exactly right.
it's writing. I can speak easier than I can write. So that's where I don't have a great attention span. So sitting there
Yeah,
writing posts is never something I've ever enjoyed. And obviously, you can again delegate that stuff out, but they're not saying what you want to say. Uh, you would need to sit and
yeah.
fucking voice note it or some fucking thing. Here's the bullet
Right.
points, and even at that, you would have to check it and check it and check it. So, and by the time you've done all of that, you'd be as well write the fucking thing anyway. So, it's just like you say, dominate something.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't fucking business growth ready. Fuck, I've been in the roofing niche is good for rainy days. That's fucking terrible, man. That is a fucking terrible joke. It's fucking. That is as bad as they come, man. That is. That's a cheap shot. That joke. That is a fucking. That is a cheap shot. It's. Uh,
That's good.
God.
That's good.
Uh, I might store that actually. I might try and
You're gonna,
on
yeah.
someone else somewhere. Uh, but um, but yeah, I think I'm like you, Randy. You can't dominate them all, and I don't want to dominate them all anyway. It's fucking hard enough
I
uh,
know.
doing what we do without getting influxed in LinkedIn. Because I'm agreeing with you. I'm seeing more and more LinkedIn spam. Every fucking inbox I get is not someone wanting anything other than to sell to me. Do you
Right,
want 40? Could you handle another 40 calls a month or
right.
whatever the fuck it is? That seems to be the
Oh
new
my god. I bet I get 20 of those emails every day.
It's fucking torture, man.
Oh,
They
God.
are worse than the link building guys.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's the new link builders.
Yeah. Those are the link builders now saying they could book you leads. Yeah, those guys drive me nuts. Well, I think it's a good conversation about the video, and yeah, he's just going all in on the roofing joke.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're right. I think I probably should just expand to the TikTok because it's so easy, right? Just like post, similar content. And I know that guys will say like, no, you should be completely unique. But some of it is you're just doing stuff just to have a presence on the channel, and right. So
Exactly. Just
yeah,
making sure that you spread it across sensible channels.
yeah,
Don't spread yourself too thin, but I think, like I say, if the content's already been created, whiz it out on there and
yeah.
get some extra traction on it.
A question for you. So on some of these scheduling platforms, only because I've not looked at these things at all, will they post? Can you schedule post out on TikTok to your business account or no?
No. You need to do TikTok manually, which is a pain in the ass. But you can schedule it from the back end of TikTok, so you can go in and schedule it for tomorrow at 4:00.
So you can do a bunch, and then schedule. But I can't like create a bunch of content and then drop it into a platform to schedule it out.
Nah, TikTok want you to basically go in natively into their platform and upload stuff, and I can understand why, because they feel that that's more unique at that point. They
Sure,
don't,
sure.
and I think I've actually seen better results by manually going in and doing stuff on TikTok itself
Yeah.
as well. Even recording natively on the TikTok app actually gets a better response than uploading reels and stuff.
I'm gonna go look and see about one of my. See, like Vista Social says that it will. I'm gonna play around with it. I'll see. Just as an FYI, you remember we've been having this conversation for the last couple of weeks, not necessarily here, but maybe on some others about some of these scheduling platforms that can post to your personal profile page and not, just a business
Yeah,
page on Facebook. Yeah, and you gave me one. You said, "Yeah, this one doesn't. It doesn't do it.
it does.
It doesn't.
It bloody does. Cloud campaign,
It doesn't."
dude.
I bought it just so that I could connect it, and then it doesn't due to my personal profile, the news guy personal profile page. It doesn't do it. And then I reached out to their support and I'm like, hey, I've been trying to do this and I'm struggling. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't do that on the personal profile pages. I'm like, well, fuck me.
Dude, it absolutely does. Wait a minute. I'm going to show you right now.
On the business pages it will, but not on the personal. And maybe you did it and you've been using it for a bit and your grandfather did, but they don't do it anymore. It's like Medium as well. I used to be able to do it on Medium, and then Medium cut their API off and essentially cut off all of their integration tokens. And so you can't auto post a Medium anymore.
Give me 1 second. Continue. Continue. I've got to refresh my credentials. I've also got to refresh. That's all good. So I am just going to show you. Give me a second, just to share screen. Maybe I'm grandfathered in, but it definitely did, because I actually manually went to check. Here is my Facebook page, and that is my personal profile. There.
Mm-hmm.
And it
So
posts.
you can actually do a post and push it out there on your personal profile.
So, and just so you can see, this is my personal profile with that picture. And the only reason I've got another picture on there is because that is my Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, you can connect it. You just can't post to it. You can't schedule a post to it.
Oh, you can.
Well,
Absolutely.
for whatever reason, I was not able to. That, and their support guys like, yeah, we don't do that. I'm like, well, that really
Unless with newer accounts or whatever, they're trying to stop that. But let me just double check something.
well,
That is a bummer. Create new content, post. So I can absolutely post to, yeah, I'm going to show you again. Fuck. I'm going to Zoom there to try and share. Don't know why. We're not on Zoom. But so if I go to here, you can see, there you go, both of them. So I can post whatever to that Facebook account. I've done it. I do it all the time. From there. So I don't know why.
I don't know why. Because I could not, and I signed up. I did a year's subscription. I'm like, okay, great, I'll just do this thing, and I couldn't do it, and so I ended up like the next day canceling it because I wasn't able to do what I really wanted to be able to do, which is have my team schedule out on my personal profile, the News Guy profile. So
that's insane. Why they won't?
I know. So
do that, but what can you do?
Good for you. Sucks for me.
Yeah,
it's good to be Craig Campbell. God.
I don't think that's obviously anything to do with it. I think it's just, I've had it for that long that yeah, it's on there. But yeah, that sucks ass if you're not able to do it. But I do know that Instagram always had problems with it. You know, being able to post from various tools. So I used to jump from tool to tool to tool because I couldn't get shit out on Instagram. But Instagram seems to have kind of relaxed that now, and you can do it. But
Medium, just as an FYI, Medium has cut off their API, so you can't schedule off of some other platform to go to Medium anymore.
Oh man, I've literally just seen something really bad when we're talking about videos. I'll tell you this story and then we can wrap up. I was in Poland a couple of months back, and the girl who does the Otis podcast was like, Craig, just talking about some fun content. She's like, do you want me to? I've written down a few ideas. We can record these kind of short videos and stuff. And I'm like, sure, fuck it, you know, it'll be fun. And she's got this hotel room booked. She's doing podcasts in this hotel room, right? It's not her room. So she says, come to room, whatever it was, and you know, we'll look at this script and we'll record a couple of videos. And we recorded them. And basically I walk out of her bedroom, she's lifting weights, and then she talks about are you looking for powerful age domain names? Because that's obviously what all they sell. So I walk out this room going something along with, are you looking for this? And she's lifting weights. No, she's lifting weights, and I walk into the room and she says to me, are you looking for powerful domain names or some shit like that? And dude, see, when we recorded it, it looked like something out of a really cheap, low budget porn flick. And I said to her, I'm like, this is fucking awful. And it's that bad, it's probably funny. It's now literally, I've just been tagged in it just now. It has fucking went public on my Instagram, and it's fucking brutal. Oh God, I am going to get so much fucking stick.
Oh, that's funny.
She's lifting the weight, and I'm in the background. It's, honestly, wait till you see this. Fucking awful.
Oh, that looks horrible. Yes, I think you're right.
I fucking said straight after it, man. I'm like, after we recorded it, I'm like, I'm going to get fucking hell for this. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, the minute that people see that it's getting flung about and it's going to get, I'm going to get tagged and shit, and I'm going to get told because I've porn flick and everything. I says, I don't know the people I know. These fucking monsters are waiting for something like that to get me.
I can just see Dooley, jump all over that and just I have all kinds of fun.
Yeah, but fuck it. It's fun.
All right. Yeah. Good video strategy. All right,
Yeah.
bud.
But, yeah, guys, please do check out the news guy. Logo's above. The link is below. Are we back next week, Randy? I know.
You know what? I'm a 50-50 on next Monday because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to be. So I'll have to let you know leading up to it.
Are you thinking of going somewhere that you shouldn't be going?
Well, where I shouldn't be going. No, I will be where I should be. But I don't know if I'm going to be back in town or not, or if I'm actually going to be traveling, like literally like moving somewhere, like in a car. So I'm not exactly sure where I'll be Monday. Certain yet. Not certain yet.
I wasn't sure if you were going to go to Holly's thing at the last minute.
Oh, well, I wanted to do that, but I've got a family. We've committed. We're doing a little vacation time. So, but that's why I'm not sure if we're coming back on Sunday night or on Monday. So I'm not 100%.
Well, let me know because I think Holly's got that event on next week. So I'm not sure if she'll be on, but if you're not, then we will be back in 2 weeks, but we might be back next week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Right. See you later, everyone.